my guy, the first guy I want to talk about for me, I want to talk about Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones right now, he's currently the number 6 QB in fantasy football. His team is 1-3, but it's not because of Daniel Jones, man. He's been playing really good. He's got that rushing floor. While Barkley was out, he was leading the team in rushing. Sterling Shepard, when he's not injured, playing well. Barkley doing a little bit better too. He's starting to come back from the injury. Kenny Golladay showed up last week. So Daniel Jones he's not that. I don't think he's going to stay QB6 all year. But he might not even be a top 12 QB6, a top 12 QB all year. But he's definitely a good starter to have in Superflex, and that was not the case when we went into the season. A lot of people were not counting on him as a possible starting option or as a strong starting option. And I think everybody's down on the Giants. No one's really high on him. So to me, he's still very attainable in trade. Usually Superflex QBs are going to cost you an arm and a leg, but this guy is the type of player that you can get cheaper. He's not going to be cheap, but he's going to be cheaper than other quarterbacks that may be higher than him. For example, Baker. People value Baker Mayfield over Daniel Jones. I think Baker was a number 1 pick. Right now, I would trade Baker for Daniel Jones plus something on top of that. And I think that's a deal you can get done. People still hold Baker in a higher regard. And I don't think he's a bad player, but he doesn't have the offensive weapons around him, and that team likes to run the ball and play defense. He's not going to have a lot of volume, and Daniel Jones is playing from behind. He likes to run the ball himself. So, if you can trade a mid to late 2022 first, which seems to be a downer type of class, and you can get a player like Daniel Jones in your Superflex league and slide him in as your number 2 QB or even a high-end number 3 for your team, that's a move I would make if I'm a contender.
I would definitely do that move. I don't know what's going on with Baker Mayfield this year, even though you're absolutely right about him not having the weapons, but he's missed a lot of wide open throws this year. He's actually missed Odell Beckham on a couple of them, like wide open, like catch the ball and it's end zone. For that reason, and for the other reason that you stated, they are a running team, so I would do that. As to Daniel Jones, I love what I'm seeing from him. Finally, you're seeing. Just the yardage that he's ripping off in chunks when he runs the ball is fantastic. I love the intelligence that I'm seeing from this kid. That was his main thing when he was coming out of college. He was the most intelligent QB out of his class, and now you're starting to see this. And he's on a bad team. He's still very, very young. And the good thing about Daniel is he's using everybody on the offense. He's even using Kadarius Toney. So he's spreading the ball everywhere. Even Saquon looked good last week. He was running the ball very, very hard, the hardest I've seen him run. So there is hope for fantasy relevance and dynasty relevance on the Giants, which I said I was trying to stay away from them. If Daniel Jones is going to quarterback like that, they're going to be very viable, and they're going to be a very, very good choice to put on your starting lineup.
Yeah, and if you recall, I said when we had one of our shows, I said, could he be the quarterback? Could he be this year's Josh Allen? Remember, I said, could he be the guy? Now, he's not going to make as big of a jump, but make that jump from that lower level where everybody was kind of making fun of having them on his team, having them on their team, to all of a sudden a strong starting viable option, bro. And we're 4 games in. We don't want to make too much of assumptions, but people forget it's a 17-game season, man. 4 games, that means we're 25% of the season done. You need to start making assumptions because the season's already a quarter of the way over. So I'm excited for what I'm seeing. And again, I think he's still attainable. So, those are moves I'm trying to make myself. It's a little risky, right? Because he could turn back into a pumpkin. Cinderella season's over. He turns back into a pumpkin. He's useless. But sometimes you got to roll the dice. I'm feeling confident enough to roll the dice on a piece like Daniel Jones.
No, I absolutely like Daniel Jones. I'm actually happy that I didn't trade him because I've picked him, in a bunch of super flex leagues, and he hasn't been producing for the past couple of years. So I was just like, damn, because I know the kid has potential, but it's finally good to see him with his potential rising in the NFL. Not only that, he's on a bad team, so I can imagine if that team happens to turn it around, he's gonna be like a friend. He's a smart quarterback, man. He's a very, very intelligent quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Sneaky athletic. Very sneaky athleticism.
I mean, just the way he runs and when he runs, he
Yeah.
knows when to run and he rips. No, he's ran it in for a touchdown. I don't even know. I think it was 50-yard run or over a 50-yard run into the end zone. It's crazy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He's not the fastest, doesn't have the best arm, but he's very intelligent and he's accurate.
Yeah.
So and he spreads the ball around. There's no excuse there that he can't get it to somebody on the team because there's no gelling. No. He's getting it to everybody. Shepard, Galloway, everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, Galladay, not Galloway. I'm sorry, Galladay, and even Kadarius Toney. Like I said, he's getting the ball to everybody. That's what you want in your franchise quarterback. So hopefully, they'll get their coaching woes straightened out, and maybe we can see the Giants start winning again.